Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Cynthia, and happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope you all are having a very strong start to your week. I'm feeling all kinds of emotions, mainly like fatigue. I feel very lethargic. Don't worry, it's not COVID. I got tested for that and it came back a negative. But I started working this week, and all three jobs of mine I started working at all my jobs this week. And after doing nothing for like 3 months, you can see how it could be challenging, right? For me to like get back into a routine and having to wake up Monday through Friday, 4 a.m, and trying to force my body to go to bed at like 9 when I was going to bed at like 2. Like, oh my God, I've had such a restless few nights. I had to go to work this morning, and I had to be there at 4:45 a.m. to have a 5 a.m. class start, a fitness class. And I could not sleep at all. I was so restless. I was tossing and turning. My body was uncomfortable. Then I'd get really hot, and it was just terrible. It was not a good night. And I think it was also a little bit of anxiety kicking in, just because it was my first day today working at this new gym. And although I've been a trainer and I've trained multiple clients, it's still nerve-wracking, and I still get a little bit nervous. I mean, I'm dealing with different people, different personalities. I'm dealing with different bodies, and not everyone is going to receive you well. You know, the trainer who's been there, she's the owner. People are familiar with her face, and I'm a new person coming into this space. So a lot of people are a little bit hesitant to take my class because they're like, I don't know if I really want to waste my drop-in fee taking this girl's class if I don't like her. So I totally get where people are coming from, because I'm kind of the same way. But it was still a good day. Like, while I was at work, it was fun. I was able to actually work and motivate and train. But it was, once I got home from work, I was like, oh my goodness, I am exhausted. And then I had to drive here. So I know this first week is going to be a little bit rough for me. I just need to get used to, a rhythm. I need to get used to the rhythm I once had, to this schedule. I need to get back on waking up at the crack of dawn. So that's going to be a struggle, but I better get used to it, because I have another 6 a.m. class I'm teaching tomorrow. So that should be fun. But how did I forget to mention that yesterday or 2 days ago was the official first day of summer, my favorite season. Also, because it happens to be Cancer season, and Cancer meaning the zodiac sign, not the terrible, very sad disease a lot of people get, unfortunately. So it is Cancer season. It was the first day a couple days ago, and if you guys aren't getting the hint right now, I myself am a Cancer gang. Where are you at? Let me know in the comments. And my birthday is actually on the 28th. So it's coming up really quick, actually, in a few days. So my birthday is on June 28th. I will also leave my Cash App link down below. JK. But I'm really excited. I don't know. I'm one of those girls. I'm super extra when it comes to my birthday. It's my favorite holiday besides Christmas. And I have some pretty fun plans for the weekend. My friends and I, we're going to go rafting on the river. And it should be fun. We're going to be outdoors. We're going to be getting some sun, getting a little bronze, and it should be fun. So I'm really looking forward to that time with my girls. And I'll also be going on a hike actually on my actual birthday on Sunday. So Saturday I'm planning on going rafting, and then Sunday I'm going to go on a hike. So it's going to be an eventful weekend. I'm pumped. Blessed to see another year. And that's basically my update for you guys since last week. So we're not here to talk about my birthday plans, although I can go on and on and on and on and on. But we're here to talk about compound lifts. We're going to be explaining what are these lifts, why are they so important, and why you should be incorporating them into your workout regimen. Compound lifts are extremely vital, you guys. If you're looking to build size and strength, then you need to be doing compound exercises. And essentially what compound lifts are, they're exercises which work several muscle groups simultaneously. They are your like main heavy lifts, which form the base of any strengthening routine. And if you train regularly, it's most likely that you'll already be including a few of these compound exercises in your workouts. But like, what's so important about them? Why do we need them to get stronger? And which compound lifts will get you the best results? So here today, we're going to be breaking down the core principles of compound lifts and go through some of the most effective ways to build muscle. And it's not just like, I feel like when people hear the term compound lifts, they get a little psyched. Maybe my women, especially my women, thinking like, oh, I'm going to build too much size. I'm going to get extremely bulky. But that's really not the case. Like, whether your goal is muscle gain or fat loss, everyone should be incorporating compound exercises into their routines. And some of you may be confused as to what those exactly are. And I'll give you a hint. I think the most popular, the most popular compound lift everybody knows of are squats. All right. So squats are a compound lift because they incorporate multiple muscle groups simultaneously. So that's just one example of a compound lift. And let's get into what exactly they are, right? What makes a compound lift? Compound lifts are any strengthening exercise where you're using more than one muscle group at the same time, such as squats, like I just mentioned. They include exercises like deadlifts as well, and there are plenty of benefits to be had for doing them. And some of these benefits include that they're efficient. They're efficient by working several areas at once, and you can save a lot of time by doing this. Especially if you're on a time crunch, you're going to want to include compound lifts because they're hitting multiple muscle groups. And it's just perfect if you're trying to squeeze a couple of workouts around a very busy schedule, or simply if you want to fit more in at the gym. I don't know. And these compound lifts, they allow you to lift heavy by relying on more than one muscle group. By relying on more than one muscle group, you can afford to load up on the weight and go heavy. And this is exactly what you want if you're looking to get stronger and build muscle and progress over time. However, many disclaimer when I say this, drop the ego. Don't go extremely heavy if your form is trash, if you start to feel discomfort or pain. So definitely take what I just said about it allows you to lift heavy with a grain of salt. Yes, compound lifts do allow you to lift heavier because you are recruiting more muscle groups. However, that is not the only way to build size and muscle if that is your goal. in your fitness routine. There are multiple other variations and variables that contribute to muscle gain and muscle mass. It's not just by lifting extremely heavy and pounding on weight onto the bar. There's other ways to progress other than adding more weight. So you guys, we're going to cut into our very first break right now. When we come back, more on compound lifts.
Are you looking to learn more about the latest trends from the fitness world? Are you confused by all of the different trends that are out there? The GSMC Fitness Podcast is the place for you. The GSMC Fitness Podcast is the place to come for people of all skill and interest levels. Join us as we explore the latest trends in the fitness world. Does that new exercise really work? Should I try yoga? Whatever your question, chances are good you'll find an answer on the GSMC Fitness Podcast.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. So we're going to continue along with this conversation of what makes up compound lifts, what are compound lifts. We already said that they're efficient, they allow you to lift heavy, and they're complex. I mean, compound lifts also require a lot of focus. These exercises are ones that you cannot be distracted. Like, you have to be 100% focused on what you're doing. And unless you're a really experienced lifter, you're always going to be looking to improve your form. So there's always something to work towards when you're down at the gym. And it's perfect if you're the type of person who gets bored easily. You know, compound lifts are going to add that extra challenge for you. In addition, compound lifts help you burn more calories. By doing bigger moves that engage more muscle groups while lifting heavier loads are all things that contribute to burning more calories. And by taking on more weight, you use more of the glycogen stored up in your muscles, which is great for using up that pent-up energy. And why is this also amazing for people who are really trying to lose weight or drop fat? The more muscle you maintain, the more calories you burn. Muscle burns fat and will keep your metabolism going. And that's the amazing thing about these compound lifts, is that if you really exhaust your body and fatigue and go hard with almost perfect form, then your body is going to have this like rollover phase where it's just like constantly burning fat even after you're out of the gym. And who doesn't want that? And that happens when you have muscle. So ladies, don't get nervous. Don't get discouraged by these compound lifts. They're not going to make you bulky. They're not going to make you look like Hulk. They're amazing for you, okay? Another thing that makes up compound lifts, or another component, is that they get your heart rate up. And they for sure do. Done right, strength-based workouts can be just as good as getting your heart rate up as cardio-based ones. The reason being, you're using, again, several muscles at the same time, and you're also asking a lot out of them. So to make sure your muscles are kept topped up with enough energy to lift, your heart needs to pump harder. And this can happen when you're doing strength-based exercises, but you need to give it your all. You need to be applying that mind-muscle connection and really getting the most out of your lift. And I speak from experience because I dropped hella weight just from doing strength-based workouts. I did little to no cardio-based workouts. The only cardio-based workout I would do is a dance class here and there once a week or once every other week. But besides that, you really don't need to do loads of cardio to drop fat. It is great to do cardio for heart reasons. I mean, it's in the name, cardiovascular health. So it's great for your health. So in that aspect, definitely still continue to do cardio for heart health. That's honestly the only reason why I still continue to do cardio. I went through this phase probably for like a year, honestly, like a year-long phase where I didn't do any cardio. I didn't want to do HIIT cardio, nothing, because I was all about the gains and getting thick and growing my lower body, which is like the whole craze right now. And I thought that if I incorporated cardio, I'm going to be dropping all my progress and dropping my weight, which was something I did not want to do. But I quickly learned that, cardio is great, amazing, highly beneficial for your heart, and it's very much needed. So anyway, with all that being said, yes, you can get your heart rate up with strength-based workouts, specifically these heavy compound lifts. Yes, you can burn fat. Yes, you can lose weight from these compound lifts. And these compound lifts, they help improve your mobility. Compound lifts are often quite technical, and being able to do them correctly as well as hit all the right muscles means having a good amount of joint mobility. Hips, shoulders, knees, ankles, and wrists all play their part in helping you build muscle. And so as well as you're working, on your strength, compound exercises also help you focus on improving your mobility. Mobility is extremely important. And I'll actually be dedicating an episode in the upcoming weeks solely to just mobility. I feel like mobility is something that a lot of people kind of just pass on through. They don't really take the time to prep their body and make them mobile for these heavy compound lifts. And compound lifts help improve your coordination. They often take, compound lifts, they often take years to master. Every little detail should be spot on, not only so you can build a muscle, but also so you can avoid getting injured, okay? That's everything, injury prevention. So learning the movements and allowing your muscles to learn as well is great for helping you focus and improve your coordination, okay, you guys? So again, that's basically in a nutshell what makes up compound lifts. They allow you to lift heavy. They're complex. They burn more calories than like your accessory exercises. They help improve your mobility. They help to improve your coordination. They get that heart rate up, and they're highly, highly efficient. So, why not include them into your workout regimen, right? Like, these are great. You can also do compound exercises that combine two exercises into one movement. So, for example, if you do like a forward lunge with a bicep curl, that would be considered a compound lift instead of just like a bicep curl. So you can definitely create your own little twists and stuff by combining two exercises. However, I'm just going to go through like the basic main lifts that like if you work with a trainer or if you are taking a fitness class, they're most likely going to have you do these lifts. And I have here compiled a list of a compound workout that is the most effective in building muscle across all your major muscle groups. So if this is you, listen up. And I'm going to first discuss about squats because, again, they are highly popular and it benefits both men and women. We need to stop. I'm going to go on a tangent here really quick. We need to stop making exercises gender-based. Like squats aren't just for the ladies. Squats are equally for the guys as well. So why do we do squats? Why are they important? And squats are most likely going to be the exercise when you take the most weight. Mainly because the weight is already placed on top of you, but also because you don't need to arch or move around to complete the exercise. That's not to say that they're easy. And I'm speaking on barbell lifts, you guys. So I'm not talking about an air squat. I'm not talking about a goblet squat. I'm talking about all barbell exercises. I totally forgot to mention that, but I'm mentioning it now. These are all barbell exercises. So Squats are definitely not easy. And getting the technique right when you're lifting a decent amount of weight at the squat rack is all the more reason to be accurate with your form. But in terms of building muscle mass, squats are vital as they hit so many areas at once. Plus, you can pile on the weight for maximum gains. And what areas, muscle groups, do squats work? They work your quads, your lower back, your glutes, hamstrings, hip flexors, and core. So basically from your core down. Next, we have barbell hip raises or barbell hip thrusts. These actually happen to be my absolute favorite exercises. I'm sure many ladies who are trying to grow their glutes, this is also their favorite exercise as well. And why do we do barbell hip raises or barbell hip thrusts? Your glutes and hamstrings are two of the most important areas to strengthen. They're your support when you squat, they're your strength when you deadlift, and your power when doing any form of plyometrics or sprint work. They can be, however, notoriously difficult to strengthen, and when looking to target these areas, many people will do squats not realizing that these aren't necessarily the best exercises to do to work these muscles. Unless you can really push your weight back, squats mainly focus on your quads. And to really bring your glutes and hamstring up to speed, you need to be changing it up with some more focused lifts. Barbell hip thrusts are a great way to work your hamstrings and glutes. And because you can load the barbell up, you can really bring your posterior chain up to speed, which will help with the range of other exercises as well. And it'll just help you with all your daily tasks, even just as walking, jumping, like going up the stairs. That's all your posterior chain, and your glutes and your hamstrings make up the posterior chain. So these barbell hip raises or hip thrusts work on your glutes, hamstrings, lower back, core, hip flexors, and basically almost the same as your squats. But instead of squatting, you are thrusting. So that's like the two biggest difference with those two exercises. So you guys, I'm going to cut into a very brief break right now. When we come back, I'll continue sharing with you guys more major compound lifts.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hey guys, and welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. Moving straight along into this exercise library that I have compiled for you guys. Next, extremely popular compound lift are deadlifts. And I absolutely love deadlifts. We have the conventional way, and then you have the sumo deadlift. Me personally, I like the sumo deadlift a little bit more. I feel this more in my glutes. Conventional deadlift, I feel it's more in my hamstrings. So I guess it just basically depends on what area of the body you are trying to target more. And why do we do deadlifts? Why are they important? Deadlifts are one of those compound strength exercises that many people are just not sure about. From a young age, many of us are taught that bending while lifting is bad. So from a beginner's perspective, they can look like injuries waiting to happen. However, the correct technique involves keeping your back straight throughout the whole exercise, which is a lot harder than it seems. And it's true that technique is really important when deadlifting. However, once you have the form correct, they are more likely to help prevent injuries than create them, surprisingly. Because I know they look scary. They're incredibly useful for targeting the weaker areas of your posterior chain, and they will help you to make great strides in your strength goals. They target your entire back, glutes, hip flexors, core, hamstrings. I mean, it's a really amazing exercise for your entire posterior chain. Like I said, I mentioned this in the previous, the previous segment, how important your posterior chain is. It literally helps you to walk, skip, jump, walk up the stairs, all of that. And if you have a weak posterior chain, then honey, you're going to be suffering a lot of injuries in the future. Okay. So let me save you all of that headache and despair and start doing some barbell deadlifts. The important thing to remember is to get the technique right. Technique is everything. Form is everything. Practice with just the barbell. Okay, don't even add weight, just the barbell alone. And make sure you're lifting with your glutes and hamstrings and not your upper body. This is a common mistake I see all the time. I literally saw it this morning with a couple clients at the gym. And I mean, they can't help it, you know. It's just reminding them of the technique and the form. And it's really important that they follow through with it because they can actually get hurt if they don't have the best form. And if you're just, the most important thing to remember is technique. And if you're just starting out, trap bars will help you perfect your form while you're still learning. They kind of look like a hexagon. Not many places have this type of bar, but if yours does, and you're a beginner and you are just starting to dip your toes into this pool of compound lifts, then I would suggest using the trap bar. They will also help to eliminate the temptation to let your weight fall forward as you lift, which is another very common thing that happens during the deadlift. And moving on, we then have our incline bench press. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I do not train my chest, at all. The only chest exercise I really do are push-ups, and those are ugly, okay? I definitely need to work on my form when it comes to push-ups. They're hard, y'all. They are definitely challenging, and chest is definitely one of my weakest areas in the body. But incline bench presses I know are very important, and I'd say majority of men love to do these. I have seen some women incorporate incline bench presses into their routines, but yeah. Why are they important to do them? I should be reading this to myself, right? Cynthia, why is this important? Why should you be doing it? Bench presses are great, but pecs are big muscles. So doing flat bench presses tends to just target one part. And by varying your bench presses and doing both incline and decline versions, you can target the upper and lower chest as well. Incline bench presses are particularly important because they work your upper chest, and this is going to help lift your chest muscles as well as balance everything out. You probably want to go for a 45-degree angle, but this will change slightly depending on your height and body type. The most important thing to do is remain engaged with your muscles. That way you'll be able to tell you have the right angle because you'll be able to feel what muscles you're working on. And the incline bench press works on your upper chest, front delts, and triceps. You are able to complete this movement with a dumbbell or a barbell. Next, we have the clean and press. Another movement that I'm not extremely proficient in. I have done this movement a couple times in a CrossFit class that I used to take. But I didn't do CrossFit for that long, literally a couple, like 2 times. So again, I'm not that experienced with this lift. But why are they important? The clean and press is a slightly simplified version of the clean and jerk, which is an Olympic weightlifting move. It's a very technical exercise and is something that's more suited to experienced lifters. It is, however, fantastic for building muscle because it works so many areas in one go. And because it's so complex, it's ideal for developing your functional fitness levels. A clean and press is basically a closed body deadlift, which is then followed up with a shoulder press. The most difficult part of this exercise is a transition in the middle. This is where you need to change your grip on the bar so you can go from a pull to a push. And you also need to have a good amount of flexibility to be able to catch the bar and pause with it front loaded at the top of your chest. And this will take a lot of practice, but again, it's great for building strength as well as for CrossFit style exercises. If you're someone who's super into CrossFit, you're a CrossFit fanatic, then I bet you have experience with this lift. And this specific exercise, the clean and press, they work your quads, hamstrings, glutes, lower body, core, hip flexors, your delts, upper chest, lats, traps, and triceps. So basically almost everything. Next, we have our parallel dips. So parallel dips or tricep dips, they're fantastic for building muscle mass across your upper body. They're definitely not the easiest of exercises, but that's what makes them a great challenge. And all the more satisfying when you finally get the hang of them, literally. There are a couple different types of parallel dips, those that target the chest area and the type that focuses your triceps. It just depends on how you position yourself. You could do them with weighted chains to really pile on the muscle. I would say do the weighted chains if you are experienced. Just remember, if you have any shoulder issues, particularly with your AC joint, you're better off leaving these and substituting them with upper body exercises that are less strenuous because you do need quite a lot of flexibility in your shoulder to be able to perform this movement. And if you don't, you can have a lot of discomfort in the shoulder area. And the parallel dips or tricep dips target your delts, triceps, chest, and core. And then for the final lift here that I'll be mentioning, your final compound lift that I also need more help working on are pull-ups. The term pull-ups refers to a multitude of exercises that can be done on a pull-up bar. The most popular type being chin-ups. However, all forms have their benefits. So once you have mastered one type, it's good to keep mixing it up. Pull-ups are one of the best ways to target your back, and they're great for improving your functional fitness levels too. And by having to take your entire body weight, they're ideal for building up your grip strength too, which is vital for full range of lifts. Again, this is something I desperately need to work on because my grip strength is absolute trash. Like, especially when it comes to like my deadlifts, I know I can lift heavier and go harder, but literally my grip strength is so bad that like I can't do it because the bar just slips through my fingers. And I have heard time and time again that pull-ups are amazing for developing grip strength. And I also just want to be strong. Like oftentimes I see all these amazing, beautiful, strong women through Instagram who are doing pull-ups as if it's nothing, like with ease. They look deceivingly easy, and it's not fair because they are extremely hard. So pull-ups are definitely one I need to work on. It's definitely one I want to master. Like I want to freaking look cool doing a pull-up body weight without a long band helping me out. So I definitely will be accomplishing that hopefully by the end of this year. And pull-ups, they work on your entire back, so they target your lats, delts, traps, biceps, and core. So an amazing upper body workout. And again, it's going to be amazing for building that grip strength. So you guys, I'm going to wrap this portion right now. When we come back, more on compound lifts.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Hey guys, and welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. So for this portion of the episode, we're going to be discussing compound lifts versus isolation exercises and kind of like their pros and cons and what's the biggest difference between the two. I know oftentimes a lot of people get confused with these terms and what they mean, what they represent. So again, compound exercises, they're at the heart of many fitness programs. Unlike isolation exercises that are performed with commercial weight machines, compound exercises focus on functional fitness developed by exercises that stimulate real life activities. Like a squat, think of the times when you need to squat. The toilet, right? Or a shoulder press. Shoulder press, I think every time I'm on a plane, I need to bring my carry-on overhead. Literally, that's what I think in a shoulder press, like my carry-on, right? And things of that nature. So compound lifts really mimic real-life activities. That's why it's part of functional fitness. While compound exercises have the benefit of using a variety of movements to go through a wide range of motion, isolation exercises are also beneficial and belong in a well-rounded exercise program. Fitness experts recommend performing both compound and isolation exercises in your weekly workout routines. So what's the difference? Compound exercises, again, are multi-joint movements that work several muscles or muscle groups at one time, okay? And isolation exercises work only one muscle or muscle group and only one joint at a time. So some examples of isolation exercises include the bicep curl or the quad extension. These exercises are often performed with the commercial weight machines found in clubs and fitness centers. The idea is to isolate one muscle group and move from one machine to the next until you work your whole body. Isolation exercises are frequently used in physical therapy clinics and rehab centers in order to correct a specific muscle weakness or imbalance that often occurs after injury, illness, surgery, or other conditions. So I won't go through the benefits of a compound exercise because we already went through that, but I'll now be reviewing some benefits of isolation exercises such as the quad extension, the bicep curl, things of that nature. Isolation exercises are often recommended to correct muscle imbalance or weakness that often occurs after an injury. Isolating a specific muscle is sometimes necessary to get in to activate and increase its strength. After an injury, a muscle often becomes weak and other muscles compensate for that weakness. If you never retrain the injured muscles to fire properly again, it may set up a biomechanical imbalance that is difficult to correct. Even if your weakness isn't noticeable because other muscles are compensating, imagine how much stronger you would be if all the muscles were firing at maximum contraction. That alone is a good reason to occasionally do isolation exercises. Another reason to perform specific isolation exercises is to increase the size or bulk of a specific muscle group. If you want big biceps for your spring break beach vacation, you'll probably want to add some bicep isolation work to your regular exercise routine. Most healthy athletes will use compound exercises for the majority of a training program and use isolation exercises to complement that program as needed. Some common isolation exercises are bicep curls, tricep kickbacks, lateral raises, front raises, rope pull downs, hamstring curls, calf raises, etc. All of those are examples of isolation exercises. Both compound and isolation exercises have their place in a well-rounded workout regimen. If you are interested in getting a complete, efficient, and functional workout, doing predominantly compound exercises during your training is ideal. But there are times when isolating a specific muscle or muscle group or joint is necessary and recommended. So for compound exercises, they're great because they stimulate real world exercises and activities. They allow you to get a full body workout faster and burn more calories. They decrease the risk of injury during sports. They keep your heart rate up and provide cardiovascular benefits. They allow you to lift heavier loads and build more strength. And as far as isolation exercises, isolation individual muscles, they improve strength in specific muscles. It can help in rehabilitation following an injury. It allows you to add isolate areas you like to bulk up, such as pecs or glutes or biceps. So they're both very much needed in your workout regimen. So as far as creating a plan, if you aren't sure what's best for you, a personal trainer or athletic trainer can help locate any muscle imbalance or weakness you may have and design a program to fit your needs. One strategy is to focus on compound lifts 3 to 4 times a week and isolation exercises twice a week. Alternately, you can combine both using isolation exercises as accessory movements to compound exercises. For example, you could do 3 sets of 10 for barbell squats, 2 sets of 20 for calf raises, 4 sets of 8 for deadlifts, 2 sets of 12 for hamstring curls. You can also split up the days like squats and lunges one day, bench press and dips the next workout, and deadlifts and military press in another day. So it's really just all up to you and what are your goals, what feels more comfortable. I always recommend to my clients to listen to their bodies. If you are feeling a little bit of, strain, or you just feel very sore, I wouldn't say to do the same muscle group back to back, right? I would kind of space it out, let your body recover, because if you don't, you're actually doing more damage to your body that way. I want you guys to kind of think of recovery as like a slope, right? So say you work out Monday, you go super hard, you're doing lower body, and you're sore on Tuesday. And say you're even sore on Wednesday because, we are out of quarantine and gyms are open and people are starting to get back into their normal weightlifting routine. So let's say you work out Monday and then you're sore for the next 2 days. So say you wake up Wednesday and you're like, I'm really sore, but I really need to work on my lower body. You are actually damaging your cells and your fibers more that way than helping them, because you are not letting your muscles properly recover. You are exercising too early that specific muscle group before they properly recover. So it's like the muscle fibers in your lower body are barely repairing themselves and you're over here tearing them apart again. So they're never actually going to be able to recover in that sense. So just be mindful of that. Space it out. Listen to your body. See what she's telling you or he's telling you, and just go with it. I mean, this is why I don't have a consistent workout regimen or my split days aren't consistent week by week, because it is a very on a case by case thing. I mean, some weeks I'm feeling very sore, other weeks I'm not. So that is just something to consider, you guys, when you are, wanting to finish and kick out these compound lifts and you just want to get it done, but just be very mindful of that, to not overdo it with your body, okay? So not overdo it. So you guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode here at the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode about compound lifts and how they differ from from your isolation exercises that you would normally do. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. I know I for sure did once I was researching all of this, and I hope you guys find it as fascinating as I do. If you guys liked what I had to discuss on today's episode, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff, because that tremendously helps the show. And I'll catch you guys here for the next one.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.